Warning, nothing in this video is real. It is all edited, CGI, and fake. Do not attempt anything seen in this video.
So in this video, I'm gonna teach you guys how to drift a Hellcat Charger.
Victory lane for Fox Television. Ricky Bobby, today's big winner. A heck of a win for you today, but it seems as if you can either win or crash the car trying to win.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. You know, I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
Kind of good there,
you know,
my guy.
What I'm talking about? That phrase is trademark, not for Ricky Bobby.
They didn't see nothing. And before this video starts, I'd like to say that I am not promoting any type of illegal activity. If you're going to do this, make sure it's on a private property, closed course, racetrack scenario, and definitely be safe if you're going to try anything in this video. Hello, I'm Jensen. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. So in this video, I'm gonna teach you guys how to drift a Hellcat Charger. First, before you even step into the car, there's a couple things that you're gonna need to dial in, and it's not super necessary, but if you want to, you know, take the extra step and just be a little more serious about it, step one, get the right tires. So I see a lot of people when they start drifting or sliding or whatever, they'll get super cheap tires. It won't matter what size they are, like as long as it fits on the rim, they'll get it. The sidewall will be like this thin. So that's pretty much step one. Get you a nice set of tires, preferably brand new and not used, because you know, you never know what happened before you bought them used. So try and buy brand new and buy the correct size. One small thing that's overlooked a lot, but it's a really key component to drifting, is PSI. You got to have the right pressure in your tires. You got like 60-80 PSI in there, they're gonna be like straight hockey pucks, and they're gonna obviously have zero grip whatsoever, and you don't want that all the time. Yes, you want your tires to be able to break traction and slide, but you want grip when you need it, and we'll explain why that's so important a little bit later in the video. So with that being said, in the front, I usually run 35 to 38. In the rear, I normally run around 40, but once the tire gets hot, after you do a few laps, tire pressure will go up. So you always want to keep an eye on your rear tire pressure. You want to stay in kind of a sweet spot. You don't want it too low, which will add more grip, and you don't want it too pumped up, otherwise there'll be hockey pucks and you won't have any grip. So I run like 40 in the rear and like 35, 36 in the front, and I found out that's kind of the magic number, because the rears will heat up and they'll go to like 46 if I let them get that high, and then the fronts will kind of stay the same around 35. They might go up to like 38, but a little more grippy in the front, and then you have, you know, a nice amount of grip, but they are a little bit easier to slide in the rear with the extra PSI in there. Another major thing is the differential. You really want either a posi or a welded differential. The reason being because you want both wheels to spin exactly at the same time. If you have an open differential, one wheel will spin faster than the other, causing the car not to get as sideways as it could not even get sideways at all. You want both rear wheels to lock up, which means both spinning at the same time. You'll have even tire wear, and when you're in the middle of drifting, one wheel won't stop spinning and send you into a wall. Either posi or welded diff. Welded diff is obviously the cheaper option. Posi, a little bit more expensive, but worth it. I have an LSD, which comes stock on the Hellcats. So if you have a Hellcat, and this is kind of a video for the Hellcats, all you need to do is add called a locker fluid. You can get it from the part shop at any Dodge dealer. It's really just an additive that you add into your diff fluid. It'll have a little bit more friction, a little bit more locking. Both rears will spin at the same time, and you don't need to weld it or get a posi. You got the LSD in there. Now, when you step into the car, and this goes for the Hellcats, yes, if you're watching this and you own a Scat Pack or whatever, it's kind of the same thing. Settings in your vehicle. So what you're gonna want to do, you need to set the settings in your vehicle to be able to drift. So obviously, turn the car on, hit SRT, all your options are gonna pop up. Some people leave it in default and, you know, just turn off traction control, but what I do is, you know, track, which will turn the transmission more aggressive, your paddle shifters will be on, traction will, that doesn't really matter because I'm about to turn it off anyway with that button. But you know, everything will be more aggressive and more track focused, and that's kind of what you want when you're sliding your car. You want more of a track focused car and not something that's super relaxed. Obviously, if you're in a stock Hellcat, the suspension will go to track. I'm on BC Racing coilovers, so ignore that pretty much and ignore the power level because I'm not at 700. You want everything in a more aggressive mode, and then hold that traction button down until it turns off, and it should take, you know, 5 to 10 seconds, something like that. The traction completely off, everything in the most track setting possible. One, because the suspension will have less body roll, it'll be more planted to the ground. Your transmission will shift faster, more aggressively, so that way in the middle of a turn when you need to shift, it'll be there and it'll be on point. Paddle shifters, because when you're doing donuts or you're sliding or doing anything, you want to be in manual mode. That's one of the most things that I can stress. I see a lot of people when they do donuts or whatever, they'll leave it in automatic and you can hear it just upshifting, downshifting, upshifting, downshifting by itself. And that's because obviously when the RPMs get too high, it'll upshift. That's a safety feature. So put it in manual mode. If you're in an extremely tight space, go first gear, and that's like just literally cranking the wheel all the way and like just going in a little tiny circle. Throw it in second if you want to go a little wider, and then so on, you know. Go to third, go to fourth if you're doing on ramps and stuff like we'll get into here in a second. But like I said, for the settings, track mode, most aggressive setting possible, traction completely off, manual mode the entire time. Never have it in auto. The next thing that is extremely important, your seating position. What's really cool about these Hellcats is obviously you can set or program your seating position. So when you hop in, you know, you press 1 and that can be like a super relaxed setting for daily driving, or you know, you can press 2 and have it set up for when you want to slide. So you know, you turn it on and then the steering wheel moves to your position, the seat moves to the position that you want. One of the main things, here, let me turn this off. One of the main things about your seating position is you want to be upright. You don't want to be too close to the wheel, but you want to be upright. And that's because when you hit the gas, you go back, obviously, you know, G-forces and all that. So you want your seat up in the position where you want to be, where you can look all around the car and still be able to, you know, maneuver the wheel and shit. You don't want to have your seat hella far back, so when you hit the gas, you know, you're going back, and next thing you know, you're trying to reach the steering wheel, you can't reach the steering wheel. Make sure your seating position is where it needs to be. Another thing is, steering wheel position is really like flat. It's pointed towards me rather than, you know, at an angle like this. Some people like driving it like a bus. I like driving it like a race car, you know. It's pointed directly at me and it's pretty close to my legs, you know. I don't have it way up here and tilted that way. I like it flat facing me. Kind of a preference thing. All right, so boom, you're ready to go. You're ready to go hit some on-ramps, do some drifting, all that type of stuff. You got your tires locked in, you got the PSI at the right spot, you got the settings in the SRT pages ready to go, you got the traction off, you got your seatbelt on and your seating position where it needs to be. Another key factor is pavement. A lot of people don't even think about, you know, what you're drifting on until you're sliding and you don't have traction, or you have a lot of traction and it's super grippy. Where we are right now, it's kind of, you know, regular pavement, asphalt, street surface. So for this, it's going to be a little bit grippy and it's going to eat your tires. Obviously, if it was freshly paved, like that super nice, super dark asphalt look, that's going to have less grip. It's going to be a little slippery. So when you're going to slide or you're thinking about sliding a turn, make sure that you're paying attention to the pavement. You know, if it's wet outside, if there's dirt on the road, because it's all going to have a factor on your grip or not having grip. And if you're sliding through a turn and there's a dirt patch and you hit that and spin out, it's not going to be a good time, you want to take everything into account. You want to make sure that you're going to have all variables in your head before it happens. Make sure you know what you're sliding on before you slide on it. As you guys can tell by the title, this is how to drift a freeway on-ramp, but you could use the same approach as drifting a regular corner, drifting anything pretty much. And this is kind of more the beginner side. This is like, you know, just drifting one corner, or some people will call it a power slide. So this is kind of more of a beginner drift. You know, you just drift one corner instead of transitioning into a bunch of corners, which will be taught later down the road. So make sure you subscribe. But yeah, let's get into it. You want to have your donuts down, confident, be able to go wide, be able to go narrow for trying to move on to drifting the on-ramp or just drifting in general. So because this is an automatic and you don't have a clutch, but it does have a lot of horsepower, speaking for the Hellcat guys, the Scat Pack guys, you still have enough power to do it. You're just not going to be in the super high gears, mostly second gear. For the Hellcat guys, say we're going to drift an on-ramp like this one right here. This isn't really the best freeway on-ramp to start off on if you're just starting, obviously, because it's downhill. Uphill is going to be a lot easier because you're going slower, so you'll have slower transitions. Your car's going to be moving slower rather than when you're going downhill. Obviously, you're going to be moving a lot faster. This one is downhill. So as you can see in the video, you turn out slightly. So you turn the opposite way of the turn. The reason you turn away from the turn and then turn in is to get weight transfer. You want all that weight to transfer over to the side that you're turning, you know, and you won't have any understeering issues, because sometimes when you hit the gas and you turn the wheel, it'll want to just slide forward, you know, even with the wheels turned all the way. You're seeing videos like that, someone slams right into a wall or something. So you turn away from the turn in, hit the gas, and that'll transfer the weight of the vehicle to the other side. So that way you won't get the understeer. So you turn a little bit left, simultaneously you hit the gas. Pretty much you're gonna floor it at that initial little, you know, kick out. You're gonna want to floor it, and that's gonna get the wheels spinning. Obviously, if you were in a manual car, you'd just be able to clutch kick, or, you know, dump the clutch, and then it would get the wheels spinning. But since you're in auto, you're gonna have to do what you could do. So you floor that thing, get the wheels spinning, and then as soon as the wheels start to spin, you let off a little bit to see how much the car is going to kick. The surface of where you're drifting is going to come into play right here. So as soon as the rear starts to kick out, you're going to want to counter steer. So you're counter steering into the turn until you get to a certain angle that you want. And then when you get to the certain angle that you want, it's really just a balancing act in between the gas, throttle input, and turning out or turning in. If you're starting to over rotate, you're going to want to counter steer more. If you're, you know, not turning enough and you're starting to understeer, you're going to want to turn in more. You know, you're sideways and you're starting to get a little too sideways, you counter. You're starting to straighten out a little bit, you turn into the turn, so it'll bring the rear out once again. It's really challenging, but once you start doing donuts and stuff, you'll get the hang of, you know, counter steering, turning in, turning out, turning in, because it has a lot to do with donuts. That's why I said you need to have donuts mastered before you try to drift the on-ramp. Like I said, you turn out, turn in, hit the gas, counter steer, so you're either turning out or turning in, and you're on the balance point of keeping the tire spinning, sliding sideways, and not catching grip. So you want to give it enough gas to keep the tire spinning, but you don't want to, you know, just stay floored the entire time. Then your wheel speed will go up crazy. You'll start redlining the car, which is bad for the car. And once your wheel speed starts getting really high, then you'll start to catch traction, because obviously your car is revving out, it's losing power. And like I said, this is a little bit more advanced of a freeway on-ramp. You want to start with something that's either level or going uphill. So when you start to get too sideways and you see something coming up, you can left foot brake to slow the car down. And what I mean by left foot braking is, obviously your foot's on the gas. This one's over here just chilling because you don't have a clutch. So boom, you're on the gas, on the gas, on the gas, right? And you see something coming up. So you want to slow down, but you don't want to stop. Grab that second foot, put her in, and then you can, you know, fluctuate the brake pedal to either slow down or obviously let off the brake pedal to gain a little bit more speed. At the same time, you're hitting the gas. So it's kind of like another balancing point. You want enough gas to keep going, but you want a little bit of brake to slow your momentum down. You don't want to just stomp on them. Otherwise, you know, your wheels are going to lock up. You're going to come to a stop. It's not going to be good. So when you're sliding through the turn, you're whop, 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 and you see something coming up, or you just want to slow down in general, you're whop, 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 and you're kind of, you know, on the brakes a little bit. You're slowing the car down, bringing that momentum to a halt. And as you could see in this video, that's what happened on the very end of the on-ramp. That left foot braking a little bit, completely off the gas because you seen the sign coming or whatever it was. But there's so many different types of on-ramps. There's, you know, little hairpin turns. There's almost long sweeping U-turns. There's some that are very, very mellow and sweeping, like this one here. So for this on-ramp, for example, come in third and then ended up shifting to fourth because started redlining in third and had to go up a gear because you got to keep the wheels spinning. So definitely started to gain speed on this one. No left foot braking at all, but really focus on the counter steering. Had to switch to the iPhone because the GoPro died, but you could tell in the middle of this turn, I'm turning outward, so I'm counter steering out because I'm feeling the rear end kick out a little bit, and then you'll see me turn in a little bit because I'll feel the rear end start to catch grip and it'll want to straighten out. There's a real fine balance point between turning in and turning out, counter steering and turning into the turn. So make sure you pay attention to that. Huge. That's one of the main things that I can't stress enough, especially on ramps or drifting big turns, fast turns. One of the main things that I tell people when I'm teaching them how to drive, every single time you want your front wheels pointed in the direction that you want to go. Just think about it like this. If you're going straight, your wheels are pointed straight, you're going straight. If you're turning, right? You're turning, so your front wheels are gonna do this, right? And they're gonna point in the direction that you wanna go because the rear wheels are gonna follow. All right, so we're good at burnouts, we're good at donuts. We got the right size tires, we got the right air in the tire, we got the seating position, good to go. Steering wheel position, good to go. We got the LSD ready, both wheels are gonna lock. We got the SRT pages set up, ready to go, traction completely off. So that's the car being completely set up to drift. You don't need an angle kit or anything like that. Yes, obviously it'll help, but with these cars, for what you're gonna do, it's not really needed. We got the donuts down, we got weight transfer down, we got left foot braking down. Obviously our car's in manual mode, so it's not going to upshift for us. But like I said, I'm not promoting anything illegal, so do it at your own risk. Be safe, take precautions, do it on a closed course, private property, racetrack, something like that. That way, if you do crash, you do have a mishap or whatever, you know, you can suck it up and take care of it rather than having a bunch of tickets, your car getting impounded, or you hit another vehicle, another person, God forbid, something like that. It's not a good day. So with that being said, go out there, have some fun, stay safe. That's pretty much going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys learned some things, got some tips and some tricks. I'll probably make another one of these, including some stuff that I left out because I know I missed a bunch of stuff. Comment down below if you have any questions. And like I said, I'll probably make another one doing some more in-depth stuff here pretty soon. But make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell, thumbs up, all that stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.